Hey everyone, Ben here and welcome back to Assetto Corsa in the TCR Cup on Low Fuel Motorsport. And what you're about to see is an unbelievably chaotic race. Now some of that chaos is of my own making and other bits, well, I'm just trying to survive. But we're on the grid then at Oulton Park, 25-minute race coming up. Now if you saw the first round of this series last week, you'll know I made a terrible start off the line. I'm trying to use the launch control this week and I've absolutely fluffed it up. Look at this, it's an even worse start than last week. I can barely get off the line at all. This is embarrassing and all I can do is apologise to all of the drivers who had to take avoiding action there. I've dropped right the way to the back of the field. There's a big shunt into T1. 3 or 4 drivers trying to get round there side by side. That's just never going to work out and we've made a couple of those positions back, but in the cockpit I'm still feeling pretty humbled by that terrible start. Another driver off to the right hand side there. This now is going to be a really tough job to get back up into the midfield. Can I make some progress here? Well, there's another driver off to the left hand side there. As we get into the island hairpin, I'm going to be down the inside of another driver, so we have made some places back. So as we make our way down the back straight here, I think I'm in P17 and there is a huge gaggle of cars just up ahead. We're on the brakes down into first gear. I didn't mean to do that. I'm still a bit flustered after that terrible start, but we get away with it. And actually, I'm not too far off the rear of Rodriguez and we've now got a little bit of a gap back to Gerardo behind. So maybe, just maybe, all is not lost here, providing I can just keep my nose clean and not get caught up in any unnecessary incidents. This is a tight and twisty track. It's phenomenal for touring car racing, but when the pack is this tightly bunched together, you just know that you're only ever seconds away from it kicking off. Cars side by side up ahead, all the way up the grid here, and I'm now catching up to this pack. So as we get on to lap 2 then, eyes forward, can we make up more positions here in this race? Trying to clear my head of that disastrous start and now get on with racing. Momentarily a yellow flag out there, not quite sure what that was all about. Maybe an incident behind. I'm going to try and get down the inside here of Rodriguez. He's a bit wide through the corner, but he chops back across onto the racing line, and now we're going to have to settle in behind this gaggle of cars up ahead and just keep my eyes peeled here. This could be an incident every time you go through this hairpin. You can see tyre smoke up ahead, drivers getting in too hot. That's going to allow me to sneak down the inside. We've made another position on Rodriguez there then, and it's Martin Power up ahead, just off to the left hand side here. We're going to be side by side heading into the chicane. I've put up the TV camera of Rodriguez, another driver off into the tyres. It's all popping off here, just trying to keep my concentration on going side by side through the chicane. We're able to do it. Fantastic clean racing. Unbelievably, I'm up into P14 through those section of corners there. That was extremely tight, and I'm now under pressure from Rodriguez, who's trying to get down my inside through the double apex here. Oh, I just give him enough space. He doesn't drift out wide. We managed to survive that and consolidate P14, but my goodness, this is unbelievable racing here. I can't believe how hard a job I've given myself by getting that start all wrong. I could have been up and away through the top 10. As it happens, I'm having to claw and scratch and fight for every position through this midfield here. As we get on to lap 3, more dust being kicked up off the left hand side there. Drivers fighting for position up ahead. Look in my rear view mirror, Rodriguez is looking to make a move back past me here. He tries to just carry more speed through the left-hander. He's not able to do it, and I'm able to hold the position for now. But again, look up ahead, more drivers side by side. Novasad going side by side with Magnussen. As we get into the braking zone again, I'm going to hold a tighter line and just try and hold off Rodriguez and pick up any pieces that I can. Unfortunately, nothing doing in terms of overtakes, and again, the drivers up ahead are absolutely fighting tooth and nail here as we get into the very tight chicane. So again, maximum alertness here as we get through and just try and rotate the car, carry as much speed as we can. Oh, but there's a big concertina up ahead. We tagged Novasad. I just wasn't expecting drivers to get on the brakes. That's going to cost me big time. I've lost one position to Rodriguez. I've lost another to Gio up ahead, and now Power is on my rear wing as we get through the double right apex here again, and I've just had to hold on to P16. I thought I was going to be fighting for more positions towards the top 10. Unfortunately, lost out there, just trying to stay safe, not trying to collect any of the drivers up ahead and getting caught out a little bit on the brakes. But we're now through and up onto the start-finish straight once again, and there's a slow driver. That looks like it's Novosad. Yes, he's dropping back, maybe with a slowdown penalty. I'm not too sure. But either way, we're now back up into P15, and we've still got plenty of positions we could be fighting for up ahead. 2 drivers there in my rearview mirror were off into the grass. So a reminder that at any moment we could see more drama in this race, and I've managed to get that hooked up better through cascades. You can see now side by side with Gio. I'm going to be on the outside. He's giving me a big squeeze there, and in the end he dives down the inside. He is going to overtake Rodriguez up ahead. Extraordinary there. He gave me a huge squeeze. TCR door banging at its best, and then managed to power down the inside, and he's making more moves up ahead as I just can't get down the inside of Miguel Rodriguez to try and take that position back that we did have momentarily, but then we lost on the previous lap. Again, trying to carry as much speed as I can through that highly technical section, but it is very easy to get caught out through there, run wide. If you get a couple of tyres on the grass, you could very easily loop the car or understeer off into oblivion. So thankfully we were able to get through there this time around, but every time it feels like a bit of a gamble in terms of how much speed you carry through that section of track. And incredibly, we're about to round the final corner once again to get up onto lap 6 of this race. This is fast, it's frenetic, there is no time to take a breath, and we've got a recovering Novosad behind me. We've got Miguel Rodriguez up ahead, and he is shaping for a move down the inside into T1. We've taken it just a little bit more carefully than that, and we're going to get the benefit on the exit of the corner as we pass Riobo for position, up now into P14, and still chasing Miguel Rodriguez up ahead. And then I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars within striking distance up ahead as well. We're in P14, drivers starting to get drive-through penalties for corner cutting, and we're heavy on the brakes now into the island hairpin once again. Drivers being pushed wide there, slow on exit. I'm going to gain more positions here off the corner. You can see then, as we cut back onto the racing line, I'm up into P13 and following Edu Perez here. Again, hard on the brakes into the chicane, and Perez just spotting his brake nicely. I'm very nearly sliding the car there. Perez out wide through the middle part of the corner, just as we were describing, pushing too hard, and that has given me another position. I'm up into P12. It is all coming together here in a matter of corners. We've gained a handful of positions, and as we get through, again, the tricky high-speed double right-hander, and Rodriguez has cooked it. He's off into the grass there. We're up into P11. Maybe, incredibly, a top 10 could be on here, but for now I'm just thinking about Henrik Magnusson behind me there. He was fancying an opportunity down the inside. I was slower into the final corner because I had to approach the previous corner with caution, with Rodriguez going off to the left hand side. But we start then lap 6 of this race, and I'm now up on the fringes of the top 10. So all the way back at the beginning of this race, I was right at the back of the field, but thanks to some overtakes, some incidents for other drivers, we're now back there or thereabouts where I qualified in this race, and we've still got plenty of this race left to make up more positions. Heavy on the brakes again then, into the hairpin. Magnusson gaining time on me there through that section of track, and we're going to put up the TV camera again to see this from his perspective, because it looks like he might have a run on me here down into the chicane, but it's incredibly tight. He's coming from way back, but he is going to stick his nose down the inside. We make contact, and it's a disaster. I'm off. I'm facing the wrong way. We get a little bit of a tap as well, and what was looking like a promising recovery is now wrecked. And we'll see this from a few different angles, because I've got to say, I think at best it's a highly optimistic move from Magnusson. You've got to be all the way alongside when you hit the braking zone to have any chance of getting through here side by side. And actually what you'll see from these replays is that in essence he was coming from too far back. I think, at least. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. He's not even alongside me there at the 50-meter board. Here he comes then. He's going to come steaming down the inside. He makes contact. I've got to commit to the corner at some point. I can't just leave endless amounts of space on the inside, but I paid a very, very big price for that optimism there, and it dropped me all the way to the back of the field once again. And over the course of the next 10 laps, I would make up some more positions through incidents like this on screen now, with drivers continuing to make mistakes, just carrying too much speed into some of these corners, which did allow me to claw some of that lost time back against other drivers. And as we get onto the last lap, we're actually up into P19. Make that P18, because Henrik Magnussen, the driver who we came together with earlier in the race, has just come out of the pits, having taken a drive through for multiple cuts. So actually we're up into P18, but once again I've got Magnussen behind me, and you'll notice the blue flag on screen. Incredibly, that's the lead driver coming through to lap us on his last lap of the race. So this could all kick off, because I've also got Edu Perez just up ahead of me. He's slow through the hairpin there, and this is going to be a really challenging situation to navigate. And now got the leader on my rear. I think he's going to get down the inside of Magnussen here, but I am challenging for position on Perez into the chicane. We are able to go through side by side. Perez gave that up on the inside, and look at that, Magnussen has been slowed down dramatically as well, as has the leader of this race, by the way, which I'm not sure is all that great. But I didn't know what to do in the cockpit there. I can't slow down and back out of those battles when the leader isn't the car directly behind me there. Anyway, all of that coming to a head then on the final lap, we were able to take P17 in the end. And really, I've just got to reflect on just how chaotic that race was. I think an opportunity missed. I was always up against it after that terrible start. I'm going to have to do much more practice of getting that right off the start line, because I'm giving myself too much work to do in the races. An unfortunate incident in the middle of the race then cost me big time. But I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, I think you'll really enjoy some of the races that are up on screen now.